MLS is back, but the Timbers squad has never looked so thin. Welcome back, new and returning viewers, to the 6th episode of Talking Timbers. And today I'm going to be previewing the match tomorrow night at Providence Park against Real Salt Lake. Just like every other pre-match video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Timbers and any squad updates, then about the opponent, which is RSL, and then give my Timbers 11 that I'd like to see tomorrow night, and then finally my score prediction. So let's begin by talking about the Timbers squad. Now, if you thought it was thin against Chicago Fire, think again. So the players out of this game due to injury are Orokoyo, Barnby, Ridgewell and Akugo, with Matux, Powell, Guzman and Nagbe on international duty as the Gold Cup enters its quarter-final stages. So I've actually seen quite a few angry Timbers fans recently due to the Nagbe call-up to the US men's teams, which only happened in the last week, meaning that he's going to miss this game and possibly the next one and the one after that if the US make it all the way through to the finals and the semi-finals. It is obviously gutting to lose a player like Nagbe for the Timbers, especially when we've got so many players out injured in the first place, but good luck to him and the US team and all the other international players that the Timbers have got. But yeah, Nagbe deserves this call-up and hopefully he can do well. Lastly, the players that are questionable going into this game is a Chance Myers, Vitas and Diego Chara. Myers at the moment is kind of just a bench spot filler. He's battling to get back to full match fitness and the club hasn't really confirmed when that will be, or if that's in the coming days or next game, so we'll have to wait and see. So I'm not sure if he's going to feature in this game. Vitas came off in the last game against Chicago Fire towards the end of it. Said he had a bit of a hamstring issue, but I think it's resolved as he didn't train for about a week, but now he seems to be training and seems to be fit, so hopefully we're going to see him. So the most questionable for this game is Diego Chara. Now, he was injured just under a month ago at the game against Seattle Sounders, and they said it was a hamstring strain, and they've given him about a month to hopefully get back to fitness. Now, Caleb Porter has said that he's actually got back to fitness pretty quick, or sooner than expected, and he was doing sprints, I think, just in the last week at the training ground, so fingers crossed he will be able to feature. Otherwise, that centre defensive midfield role is really going to have to be filled in by, I think, Olam. So fingers crossed Chara will be able to play. I mean, only if that's 50 or 60 minutes, we'll have to see. Thankfully, however, I can bring you some good news about the Timbers squad amongst all of this awful stuff, is that Laurice Mabiala has been training with the boys and could feature against RSL. Now, he couldn't feature in the games prior to the Gold Cup break because he wasn't actually officially a Timbers player due to the MLS transfer window hadn't opened yet, but now it has, so we'll have to wait and see to see if he actually does fill in a centre-back role and if Olam goes into the midfield, or I know if Caleb Porter chooses a different partnership at the back. I mean, he's a man that has a lot of experience, so be interesting to see if he is going straight into this match, if he's up to match fitness. So yeah, intriguing stuff. Going into this game, the Timbers currently sit 4th in the Western Conference and RSL in 9th. Now, looking at that table, a pretty obvious stat that stands out for RSL is the goals they have conceded and their goal difference in general. They really have seemed to leak a lot of goals at the back and haven't really compensated going forward. It's kind of surprising when you've got the likes of Nick Romando in goal, one of the best, in my opinion, keepers that has been in the MLS for the last 5-10 years. He's been absolutely amazing, really does come up clutch for RSL, especially saving penalties and stuff. But if he's going to have so many shots at him a game, there's only so many that he can save. So it'll be interesting to see how the Timbers can penetrate the defensive line of RSL and if they can beat Nick Romando in goal. To be honest, I think inconsistent is the perfect word to describe both the Timbers and RSL. I mean, take the recent form, for example. In the last 6 games, RSL have, lost 4 and won 2, coming in a pattern of loss, 1, loss, 1. And, it shows that they've got the attacking power, but they've also just got a poor defence that leaks goals. I mean, the perfect example is the last game against LA Galaxy away. They won 6-2, they scored a lot of goals. I mean, they looked an attacking threat, but LA Galaxy looked defensively awful all over the shop. I watched the highlights, it was pretty bad, and LA Galaxy have been awful at home this year, having only won 1 game. But then you look at the Timbers' recent form. I mean, they haven't won in the last 5 games and they've drawn the last 3. So, I think it's a mixture of both for the Timbers. I mean, we have got the attacking threat, but, taking in all the injuries into account and the international duties, I just think it's been very difficult as of late to get the defensive performances that we need. Now I should mention that yesterday, as in Monday, RSL played Manchester United whilst they're on their US tour. Now they kind of had 3 squads playing over the 90 minutes, they changed it every 30 minutes or so, and in total used 33 players. So the team that started the game for the first 30 minutes against United is likely to be the team that the Timbers come up against tomorrow. As you know, there was a lot of first team players playing. I think the game ended in a 2-1 win for Man U, which wasn't too bad for RSL considering they were using a pretty weak inside for most of it, and Man U had quite a lot of starting players, so fair play RSL, but it'll be interesting to see if the starting 11 during that game starts against the Timbers and whether they'll tire towards the end of the game, and if the Timbers can capitalise, on them maybe being a little bit tired. Could we possibly score some goals in the last 10 minutes? I don't know, it'd be interesting to see. Moving on to the Timbers 11 that I would like to see face RSL tomorrow night. In goal is the pretty obvious choice Gleeson, then right back is Valentin, centre backs Mabiala and Miller, and then left back Vitas. So with Powell away on international duty for Jamaica as they've made it, into the quarterfinals along with Matux, I think it's a pretty obvious choice that Valentin is at right back, and then left back is Vitas. I mean, you've got Farfan that could play there, but I think Vitas is a solid choice. So the 2 centre backs that I've gone for are Mabiala and Miller. Now, some of you guys may be thinking, why haven't you gone for Olum or Miller, or Olum and Mabiala? I just think that Mabiala and Miller could be a good partnership. I mean, if you look at the post-match recap video on the Chicago game, the mistake that led to one of their goals was kind of from Olum. He just didn't shift his feet and didn't clear it well. I mean, I just think, I'm not solely blaming that goal on him, but I think that that's maybe worthy of dropping him for Mabiala. And I'd really love to see Mabiala play because we haven't really seen him at all. And I mean, he's had quite a few weeks to get into match fitness. And the MLS has been off for 2 weeks, so the other teams may not be 100% match fit and things like that, or match sharp. So it'll be interesting to see if Mabiala can be integrated into the team and how well he would do. So I decided to stick with Miller because, in the last few games against some good teams with a makeshift defence, he's played pretty well. He's come up with some good plays, good tackles, things like that, good defensively. So I'd like to see how him and Mabiala can do. Now in the central defensive positions, I've gone for Chara and Zemansky. I think Zemansky is one of the only other central defensive mids that is fully fit, other than possibly Olum, but I wouldn't play Olum unless Chara isn't fit. So fingers crossed that Chara is fit as he's such a key player for us. That's why I've put him there, but if he's not, then I've definitely put Olum off the bench and put him in the centre defensive role. But yeah, I've gone for fingers crossed Chara and Zemansky. The attacking 4 that I've gone with are actually kind of like the only attacking 4 that have regularly played this season. The other 2 players being Ebabise and Arboleda. They've only come off the bench once or twice. With Nagby out, Matux away, this is kind of the attack that we're left with, and it is Espria, Valeri, Blanco, and up top, Addy. Having said that, I think this attack can certainly cause some trouble for RSL, especially with the defensive weaknesses that I've mentioned earlier, and I think that we're going to penetrate them and get goals. I'm particularly interested in seeing how Blanco can be effective in this game. I mean, before the Gold Cup break and after his red card, he was starting to come back into form. I think in the Chicago game he actually made more passes than he's ever done before in a Timbers shirt, so it's a pretty interesting stat and good to see that he's hopefully going to come into form towards a key part of the season going towards the playoffs and the last push. But yeah, that is my team. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, or just message me what you think the team will look like. So before I give you guys my score prediction, I'll just give you a few statistics. On average away from home, RSL concede 2.7 goals and they score 1.3, where the Timbers on average at home score 2.1 goals. Now taking these into consideration, I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to the Timbers. I certainly think we have enough firepower in the attack to get through the RSL defence, even with the beast of Romando in goal. And hopefully our defence can stay strong and keep a clean sheet. That would be lovely. We haven't had one in quite a while. But yeah, hopefully the Timbers can stay strong at the back, not concede goals, and see this game off. I'm going to go 3-1. So we're now coming to the end of the video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that it's not too long. I like to keep them under 10 minutes if I can, so you don't lose interest. But if you did enjoy it, please leave a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments below if you have any score predictions, or if you have any altercations to the team that I named. Would you like to see Olum in the defence or midfield? What were you guys thinking about this game tomorrow night? But yeah, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.